This is lesson 4 from Unit 4, Video 1. We're going to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. Okay, so first of all, parallel lines are lines that never intersect. So the reason why they would never intersect is because they have the same slope. Okay, perpendicular lines are lines that intersect, but there's something special about their intersection. Their intersection forms a right angle. And what causes this to happen is their slope again. The slope's not the same. The product of the slope is -1, which means that the slopes are opposite reciprocals. All right, so let's talk about some of the examples of that. So if I tell you 1/2, I want the opposite reciprocal. So first of all, 1/2 is positive, so opposite would be negative, and reciprocal would be 2/1, which is just 2. Okay, let's say -3/4. So opposite would be positive, and reciprocal would be 4/3. Okay, what about -5? Okay, well, opposite would be positive. The reciprocal of 5, so 5 is 5/1, so 1/5. Okay. All right, so I want to write an equation of a line that is parallel to this given line and goes through the given point. It doesn't tell me the form, so I want to write it in slope-intercept form. Okay, so for my given line, the only thing I care about is the slope. So this first one, my given slope is 6. All right, we're doing parallel. So parallel lines have the same slope. All right, so I'm going to use 6 again. And then this is my point I want to use. So I'm going to use point-slope form first and then change that to slope-intercept. Okay, so y minus 0 equals 6 times x minus 0. All right, and then distribute. So 6x, 6 times 0 is just 0. So if you want to put it there, you can. And again, you're just adding 0, which means you're really adding nothing. So 0 plus 0 is 0, and I don't even have to write it. So y equals 6x. Okay. Pause this next one and try it on your own. Okay, my given slope is 0.5. I don't care about the y-intercept. I do not care about that -8 there. And then my parallel slope is the same, so 0.5. And then I will do point-slope form. So y minus -5 is y plus 5. 0.5 times x minus 8. This is my x1, y1. So if I distribute that 0.5, I get 0.5x minus 4. Then I need to subtract 5 from both sides. So I get y equals 0.5x minus 9. So this equation, if you graph both of these lines would be parallel. They don't have the same y-intercept because then they'd be the same line, but they do have the same slope. Okay, we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to talk about perpendicular lines. Okay, so again, I only care about the slope for my given line. So my given slope is 2, and my perpendicular slope, so remember we want opposite reciprocal, so that's positive 2, so I know it's negative. The reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. Okay, so put it in point slope form now. Y minus 0 equals negative 1/2 parentheses x minus 0. And then change that to slope-intercept form by distributing and getting y by itself. And again, just because it's 0, I don't have to write plus 0, just negative 1/2 x. Okay, now this one is a little bit harder because I can't tell by looking at it what my given slope is. So what I have to do is I have to change this to get y by itself. Alright, so it's a little bit of work here. I need to, I'm trying to get y by itself. So the first thing I need to do is add 10x. So 8y, 3 and 10x are not like terms, so I just have to write them next to each other. And I put the x first, the 10x first, just because mx plus b, that part usually comes first. Okay, then I need to divide by 8. And I have to divide all the terms by 8. So I have to do 10 divided by 8 and 3 divided by 8. So I do 10 divided by 8. And I want to make sure I reduce it. I keep it as a fraction though. So 10 divided by 8 is 5/4 x, and then plus 3 divided by 8 is 3/8. Okay, so I only care about the slope of my given line, so I really don't care about that 3/8. So my given slope is 5/4. And so then my perpendicular is opposite reciprocal. So that's positive. I need negative, and then reciprocal will be 4/5. Okay, and then I'm going to write it in point slope form. So I need my given point now. So y minus 12 equals negative 4/5 x minus 15. And then to put it in slope-intercept form, we will distribute. So negative 4/5 x. Negative times negative is positive. 4/5 times 15 is 12. Okay, then add 12. So we get y equals negative 4/5 x plus 24. Alright, so this one took a little bit more work because you first had to get y by itself in your original line. Okay, so now I just want to tell whether they're parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So what I'm looking at is the slope. So 2/3 and 2/3. Those are the same. So these lines are parallel. 5 and negative 5. So those aren't the same. They are opposite, but they're not reciprocal because one would have to be 1/5. So 5 and negative 5 are opposites, but they're not reciprocals. They're not the same. So this one is neither. Okay. All right, let's compare these two lines. So this x equals 2 is a vertical line. So it goes through the x, so x equals 2, goes through the x at 2. Oh, 1. Okay. Scoot that line over just a bit. Okay, well, x equals 2. And then y equals 9 is horizontal because it goes through y. That's at 9. Okay, so are these lines parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Well, all horizontal and vertical lines are perpendicular. Two vertical lines are parallel, two horizontal lines are parallel, but one vertical, one horizontal are perpendicular. Okay, you ready to do Unit 4 assignment